भवति उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 13, text number 27. Ukshipta Valaha Kacharaha Katoraha Ukshipta Vala Kachara Katoraha Sataha Vidunvan Kara Roma Satvak Sata Vidunvan Kara Roma Satvak Kura Ahata Abraha Shita Damshraha Iksha Kurahata Abra Shita Damshra Iksha Jyotihi Babase Bhagavan Mahidraha Jyotir Babase Bhagavan Mahidraha Ukshiptavala Kachara Katoraha Sata Vidunvan Kararoma Satvak Kurahata Bhra Shita Damshra Iksha Jyotir Babase Bhagavan Mahidraha Ukshiptavala Kachara Katoraha Sata Vidunvan Kararoma Satvak Kurahata Bhra Shita Damshra Iksha Jyotir Babase Bhagavan Mahidraha Ukshiptavalaha slashing with the tail Kacharaha in the sky Katoraha very hard Sataha hairs on the shoulder Vidunvan quivering Kara sharp Roma Satvak skin full of hairs Kura Ahata struck by the hooves Abraha the clouds Sita Damshraha white tusks Iksha glance Jyotihi luminous Bhavase began to emit an effulgence Bhagavan the personality of Godhead Mahidraha the supporter of the world. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Boar flew in the sky, slashing his tail, his hard hairs quivering. His very glance was luminous, and he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hooves and his glittering white tusks. Please repeat the translation. Before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Boar flew in the sky, slashing his tail, his hard hairs quivering. His very glance was luminous, and he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hooves and his glittering white tusks. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. When the Lord is offered prayers by his devotees, his transcendental activities are described. Here are some of the transcendental features of Lord Boar. As the residents of the upper three planetary systems offered their prayers to the Lord, it is understood that his body expanded throughout the sky, beginning from the topmost planet Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. It is stated in the Brahma Samhita that his eyes are the sun and the moon. Therefore, his very glance over the sky was as illuminating as the sun or the moon. The Lord is described herein as Mahidraha, which means either a big mountain or the sustainer of the earth. In other words, Lord's body was as big and hard as the Himalayan mountains. Otherwise, how it was possible that he kept the entire earth on the support of his white tusks? The poet Jayadeva, a great devotee of the Lord, has sung of the incident in his prayers for the incarnations. Vasati dashana shikare dharane tavalagna shashini kalanka kaleva nimagna Keshava Dhruta Shukara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hari. All glories to Lord Keshava, Krishna, who appeared as a boar. The earth was held between his tusks, which appeared like the scars on the moon. Doesn't see Bhaktivedanta Parva. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Brikcharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Lord's response after the prayers was mentioned here. On the request of Lord Brahma, Lord appeared as a boar to remove the earth from the bottom of the Garbhodaka ocean. So before entering, Ukshipta Valaha, because of his huge size, then he was wagging his tail, he was slashing his tail. Kachara Katoraha. Kacharaha, his bodily hairs, Katoraha, they are very hard and strong. Shata Vidunvan, and his hairs on the shoulder, they were quivering. Then Kara Romasatvak, his body, which are bodily hairs, which were very sharp. Kura Ahata Abraha, struck by the hooves, Abraha, the clouds. Shita Damshra, his tusks are very white. Iksha Jyotir, his glance itself is very luminous. Babase, he began to emit an effulgence from his body. Bhagavan Mahidraha, who is that personality who was performing all this? Is Bhagavan Lord Boar, Mahidraha, one who had lifted the earthly planet or sustainer like a mountain. So in the purport, Prabhupada says, how to understand the transcendental activities of the Lord. So the residents who is being worshipped and who is perceiving this form of the Lord was the people from upper three planetary systems. Jana, Tapa, Satyaloka people. So they offered their prayers to the Lord, and it is understood that the Lord expanded his body. So these various planetary systems were able to perceive, means the form of the Lord was so huge. So started from Brahmaloka down to almost like all the entire universe, he was filled with that form, that a huge form. And the Lord is mentioned here as Mahidraha, means a big mountain or the sustainer of the earth. Mahi means earth, Daraha means one who is holding it. So that's why Lord Varaha is called as Mahidraha. The Lord's body was huge and hard as a Himalayan mountain. Otherwise, how it was possible for him to keep the entire earth on the support of his white tusks? So when he removed the earthly planet, it was like a speck on the tusk. So in that way, Lord did not, like the weight of the earth was insignificant in compared to the size of the Lord. So that is being mentioned here. So what do we understand from these pastimes of the Lord? How do we focus upon? or what should be our mood when you hear these pastimes. These are uncommon pastimes, not that like an ordinary animal he was. He was such an huge, powerful, magnanimous personality. Whatever form Lord accepts. So Bhagavatam says, Dehanyasam ta tasyevam Dhiranam dhairyavardhanam Anyesham dushkarataram Pashunam viklavatmanam. So Uddhava is saying about this, he is saying, Dehanyasam ta tasyevam, the Lord's glorious acts and his acceptance of various transcendental forms, or Dhiranam dhairyavardhanam, or extraordinary pastimes in this material world. So Dhiranam means those who are, those whose consciousness is settled. Dhiraha, those who are fixed up. Even they, dhairyavardhanam, they pick up energy or they become even more fearless when they hear these pastimes of the Lord. Dhiranam dhairyavardhanam. Then Anyesham dushkarataram. So for others who are not devotees, Anyesham dushkarataram. It is very difficult other than devotees to understand. They cannot pursue. They cannot think. We all understand a pig of size, of some size, of something like a small, maybe some huge size. But this is covering the entire universe. They say such a thing we have never seen, so it never exists. So for non-devotees it is not perceivable and they cannot grasp the subject. That's why it is Anyesham dushkarataram. And for the Pashunam viklavatmanam, and for the beasts they are simply a mental disturbance. Means he has accepted a human form, but his consciousness is still in the level of an animal. That's why they are called as beasts. So for the beasts it is viklavatmanam. It is simply a mental disturbance. They cannot comprehend the subject. They see this is all speculation. In that purport, Prabhupada says that transcendental subjects are difficult to understand for the following categories of people. So who cannot understand about the Lord? First one is the jnanis and yogis. They have no idea of the personality of Godhead and his various forms. So for them it is very difficult to pursue the transcendental activities of the Lord. The second one is those who are envious of the Lord, who are classified as beasts here. So envious category where they will never believe. Then third one is those who simply concerned with material enjoyment, who are beasts of burden, they cannot understand. Who are on the material platform, they can never understand about the transcendental forms of the Lord. Then, so what happens if you speculate on these transcendental subjects? The above people, the result, what they achieve when they speculate, they create simply mental disturbance, first thing. The second one is they commit further offenses at the Lord's lotus feet because of not believing and speculating about the Lord. And third one is the result because of doing all these things is they enter into darkest regions, hellish planets, because of offending the Lord. So this is the perspective, how one should, only devotees will be able to understand and non-devotees will be able to not understand the pastimes of the Lord. Then further, in the 7th canto, Prahlad Maharaj, while explaining to his friends, he says, Nishamya karmani gunan atulyan. Nishamya, by hearing, karmani, the transcendental activities of the Lord, gunan, the qualities of the Lord, atulyaha, which are, tulyaha means which can be compared or which cannot be uncompared, which are beyond comparison. Atulyaha, we are beyond description. Or viryani leela tanubihi krutani. So viryani, the prowess, the powerful capacity of the Lord, leela tanubihi, of his various pastime forms, of various forms what he had accepted and various incarnations what he had done, kritani, all the things he had performed in various pastimes. Then the devotee becomes yada atiharshaha, he becomes extremely jubilated. When he hears the pastimes of the Lord, when he hears the qualities of the Lord, yata atiharshaha, he becomes extremely transcendentally jubilant. Then Utpulka Ashruhu, his body, Utpulkaha, his body will become ecstatic. Ashruhu, there will be continuous tears in his eyes. Gadgadam, his voice will falter. Proktanta Udghayati, then he loudly chants like a madman. Rauti, he cries. Nrutyati, he will be dancing. So when you hear the impact, see, the impact of the pastimes, when you hear in a proper mode, our body should become ecstatic. And our bodily hair should become standing on, like hair will be quivering, standing. Next, from the eyes there should be continuous tears. Then the voice will become falter. He will not be able to pronounce properly. Then he will be chanting loudly, he will be dancing, and he will be crying. These are the symptoms when you hear perfectly about pastimes of the Lord. Next, further it says, Tada Puman Mukta Samasta Bandaha. If you hear in that consciousness, then what happens? Tada Puman, when that person hears in the proper way, Mukta Samasta Bandanaha. All material contaminations, attachment, or he becomes free from all these material world attractions and attachments. Mukta Samasta Bandas, Tad Bhava Bhavaha. Then, because of constantly thinking of the Lord's pastimes, Tad Bhava Bhavaha, Anukruta Asaya Akrutihi, his body and mind will be converted to spiritual qualities. We develop into that spiritual nature. This material body also will come to the spiritual platform. Then, Nirdagda Bija Anushayaha. Nirdagdaha means everything, whatever is there, Bija Anushayaha, all the desires and all the material attractions will be burnt to ashes. Nirdagdaha, burnt to ashes. Mahiyasha Bhakti Prayogena, because of intense devotional service. Mahiyasha Bhakti Prayogena, because of severe and serious intense devotional service. Sameti Adokshajam, and at the end we go back home, back to Godhead. Adokshajam, we reach the planet of Supreme Lord Adokshaja. So this is what Bhagavatam says. When you hear systematically and perfectly, and we develop the taste for hearing, the result will go back home, back to Godhead. We become cleansed of all material activities, our desires and all will be purified, our body mind system will come to the platform of spiritual level, spirit level, and we become liberated and go back home, back to Godhead. So similarly, this pastime of Lord Boar was exhibited once again by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Murari Gupta. So in Chaitanya Bhagavata, the story is elaborated in the Madhya Leela, 3rd chapter. It says, Hailena Gaurachandra Krishna Bhakti Maya Yakana Ye Rupa Sune Saimata Hoya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hailena Gaurachandra Krishna Bhakti Maya, he became filled with devotion to Krishna. Yakana Ye Rupa Sune Saimata Hoya. Whenever, whichever pastime he hears, he accepts such form. If he hears about Hanuman, he becomes like Hanuman. If he hears about Lord Shiva, he becomes like Lord Shiva. If he hears about Lord Ramachandra, he comes to the mood of Lord Ramachandra. Here he heard about Lord Varaha and he will become like Varaha. Dasya Bhave Prabhu Yabe Karena Rodana Haila Prahara Dui Ganga Agamana. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in the ecstatic mode, Dasya Bhave, in the mood of a servant, Yabe Karena Rodana, and he cries in that ecstasy, Hoila Prahara Dui, it will be 6 hours if he cries minimum. Then Ganga Agamana, from his eyes it will be like Ganga flowing naturally. Torrents of rain. No, it is like Ganga, it is flowing from his eyes. Then Yabe Hase Tabe Prabhu Prahareka Hase Murchita Haila Swa Anubhava Dambakari Vaishe. So when the Lord laughed, he laughed for 3 hours. When he cried for 6 hours. When he laughed for 3 hours. And when he lost consciousness, he would not breathe for 3 hours. Muni se, iha boli hase, kota gela nada buddha, ye anila mora. So he used to laugh and he used to proudly manifest his opulences and says, I am here, I am here. And he would say, where is that old Nada who brought me here? Means he was referring to Advaita Acharya. Because Advaita Acharya called with loud prayers, oh Lord, my dear Lord, please descend to this world. So where is he? I have come for his purpose. Saikshane, so then, Bailamu Bhakti Rasa Prati Gare Gare, Saikshane Krishna Re Bhapare Boli Khande. So in the next moment he would cry and he would say, oh Krishna, oh my dear Krishna, I will distribute the sweet nectar of bhakti in each and every home. Pade Prithvite Dandavat Hoya, Akrura Yanera Sloka Padiyakshane, Apanara Kesha Apanara Paya Bande. So tying his hair, he came to the mood of Akrura and he started offering prayers like Akrura. Then Pade Prithvite Dandavat Hoya. Then he started offering Dandavats falling on the ground. Seimata Kata Kahe Bahya Kela Dura Mathuraya Chalananda Ramakrishna. Then he went into the mood of Akrura. He is saying, oh my dear Krishna and Rama, let us go to Mathura. Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda ki. Laya Danur Makha Raja Mahotsava Deki Kiya. Let us go. There is a Danur Yajna which is being done by Kamsa. Let us go there and see the royal festival of this program. Yei mata nana bhave nana kata kaya dekiya Vaishnava Sabha Ananda Bhashaya. So in that way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was exhibiting various pastimes and various modes. Whoever had heard all the Vaishnavas, they were all in ecstasy. They all floated in ecstasy. Ekadina Varaha Bhavera Shloka Shuni Garjiya Murari Gare Chalila Apani. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one day he heard the Varaha pastimes. So making a huge sound, he went to the house of Murari Gupta. Antare Murari Gupta Prati Bada Prema Hanuman Prati Prabhu Ramachandra Yena. So Lord was very affectionate to Murari, like how Lord Ramachandra was very affectionate to Hanuman. Murari ra Gare Ghela Sri Chachinandana Sambrame Karila Gupta Charanavandana. So one day when he went to Murari Gupta's house, Murari Gupta was very happy and he paid obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shukara Boli Prabhu Chali Yaya Stambita Murari Gupta Chaturdike Chaya. He's saying, hog, Shukara. So he was thinking, where is that Shukara within the house? He was searching, where is that pig which has entered into the house? Vishnu Gruhe Praveshta Haila Vishwambara Sammuke Dekena Jalabhajana Sundara. So he entered into the altar. There he saw there was one small kamandalu which is used for pouring water like Achman or something like that. Varaha Akara Prabhu Haila Saikshane. Then in the next moment he accepted the form of Varaha. Swanubhave Ghadu Prabhu Tulila Dashane. So then with his sweet will he picked up that water path between his teeth. Garje Yajnavaraha Prakasha Kurachari Prabhu Bole Morasiti Karaha Murari. Then he made a huge sound like a boar. Then being the Lord as Yajnavaraha, the form of the sacrifice, and Prakasha Kurachari, he manifested 4 hooves. Prabhu Bole, then Prabhu said, Morasuti Karaha Murari. Oh Murari Gupta, please offer prayers unto me. Stabda Haila Murari Apurva Darshane. By seeing this uncommon form, Murari Gupta was stunned. Ki Boliba Murari Na Aise Vadane. He is saying he is not able to say any words because out of ecstasy and out of excitement, he was very stunned. Prabhu Bole Bola Bola Kichu Bayanai. Do not fear, say. Eta Dina Nahi Jana Muni Ye Tani. All these days you did not know who I am, why I am here. Kampita Murari Kahe Kariya Minati. So in a humbly voice, in a trembling perspective, he spoke. Tumi se janaha Prabhu, tomara ye stuti. He said, only Lord, only you can know your glories. Ananta Brahmanda yara eka fana dhare, sahasra vadana hoy yare stuti kare. Like Ananta Brahmanda, unlimited universes are there like a speck on your one of the hoods. Sahasra vadana hoy yara stuti kare. And you, with 1,000 mouths, are not able to glorify yourself as Ananta Shesha. Tabu nahi paya anta, say Prabhu kaya. Even Ananta, with his 1,000 mouths, with his unlimited time, he was chanting the glories of the Lord, but still he has not found the end of the pastimes of the Lord. Tomara saveta ara ki samarthohaya. Who is capable of chanting your glories, your pastimes? Ye vedera mata kare shakala samsara say veda sarvatattva na jane tumara. Even the Vedas, which are followed by all the people, are unable to know you in full. Even Vedas could not describe you in full. Yata deki suni prabhu ananta bhuvana tara loma kupe ghiya milaya yakhana. The unlimited universe, whatever we see or whatever we hear about, are all absorbed in the pores of your body, like Maha Vishnu. They all emanate from his bodily pores. Hena sadananda tumi ye kara yakane bhala deki vede taha janibe kemane. You are full of bliss in whatever you do. So how can the Vedas know your activities? Atayeva tumi say tomara janamatra janamatra tumi janaile jane tora krupa patra. Therefore only you can know yourself. Others can know only if you reveal to them by your mercy. Tomara stutiya mora kon adhikara. So what adhikara do I have? What qualification do I have to offer you prayers? Yeta boli khande gupta kare namaskara. He started crying and he started offering obeisances to the Lord. Gupta vakya tushta haila varaha ishvara. The Lord in the form of Varaha became very satisfied by the prayers of Murari Gupta. Veda prati krodha kari bolaya uttara. He became angry on the Vedas and he started saying in this way. Hastapada mukha mora nahika lochana. These Vedas glorify me that Hastapada, there are no hands, no legs, no eyes. Ye mata vede mora kare vidambana. In this way the Vedas mock me. Kashite padaya beta prakasha ananda. There is one person in Kashi by name Prakasha Ananda who teaches his students. Say beta kare mora anga kanda kanda. He describes me by cutting my parts. The Lord is so great, but he has no legs, no hands, no eyes, no feet, like that and all. So Vakanaye Veda Mora Vigraha Namane. He gives lectures on Vedas, but he does not accept my transcendental form. Sarva anga haila kushta tabu nahi jani. His entire body will become full of leprosy, but still he will not accept my form. He will not come to his senses. Sarva yajnamaya mora e anga pavitra. My body is full of this transcendental sacrifice, perfection of all sacrifices. E anga pavitra, and this body is pure body. Ajabhava adi gaya yahara charitra. Aja and Bhava means Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva always chant my glories, my characteristics. Punya pavitrata paya e anga parase. By the touch of my body, the purity is sanctified. Taha mitya bole beta kemane sahase. And that sinful person is saying, my body is false, mitya. Sunaha Murari Gupta kahi mata sara. So I am going to give Mata Sara, I am going to give the essence of all the scriptures. Veda Guhya Kahi Ye Tomara Gochara, I am going to disclose the confidential purport of the Vedas to you. Ami Yajna Varaha, I am that personification of sacrifices. Sakala Veda Sara, I am the essence of all the Vedas. Ami se Karinu Purve Prithvite Uddara. Formerly, I had rescued the earth when it has fallen into the Garbhodaka ocean. Sankirtana Arambe Mohara Avatara. And I have incarnated to inaugurate the Sankirtana movement. Bhakta Jana Lagi Dushta Karimu Samhara. For the sake of my devotees, I will destroy all the enemies or miscreants. Sevakera Droha Muni Sahite na Paron Putra. Even for the purpose of my devotees, I am ready to kill. I cannot tolerate the oppression of my devotees. Yadi hoya mora tatapi samharon. Even if my son is against me or who is torturing my devotees, I am ready to kill him. Putra katona panara sevaka lagiya mitya nahi kahi gupta suna mana diya. So he's saying, I am not telling a lie. Oh Gupta, please listen attentively. Ye kale karinu muni prithvi uddara. When I was lifting the earth from the water, from the ocean, haila kshitira garba parase amara. Because my hooves entered into the earth became pregnant, because of which it delivered a baby boy. Haila naraka nama putra mahabala. That boy is named as Narakasura, and he was very strong and heavy personality. Apane putrera dharma kahila sakala. And I taught him the entire Vedic literature and principles of Vedic knowledge. And to him, all religious principles, I taught to him personally. Maharaja Hailena Amara Nandana. He became a great king. Deva Dvija Guru Bhakta Karena Palana. He started worshipping the twice born, the demigods, gurus, and the devotees. He started respecting and maintaining them properly. Daiva doshe tahara hoila dushta sangha. By the will of providence, he fell into the bad association. Banera samsarge hoila bhakta drohe ranga. Because of bad association with Banasura, he started offending the devotees. And he started taking pleasure in oppressing the devotees. Sevakera himsa mui na paron sahite. And I cannot tolerate my devotees' torture. Katinu apana putra sevaka rakite. To protect my devotees, I have cut down my own son. Janme janme tumi sevi yache mora. In lifetime after lifetime, you have served me. Yeteka shakala tattva kahila tumara. That's why I have taught to you the essence of all the truths unto you. Suniya Murari Gupta Prabhura Vachane. By hearing Lord's words, Murari Gupta, Vihvala Hoya Gupta Karena Krandane. He became ecstatic and he started crying. He became overwhelmed. Murari Sahita Gaurachandra Joya Joya. So the devotees are praying along with Murari and Lord Gaurachandra, Joya Joya. All glories to Lord Varaha, and all glories to Lord Gaurachandra, all glories to Murari Gupta. Jaya Yajna Varaha Sevaka Rakshamaya. All glories to Yajna Varaha, and all glories to the protector of the devotees. So this pastime has been once again performed. We hear of two things. One was Yajna Varaha, one was Nili Varaha, Shweta Varaha, and one was Rakta Varaha, and third time again Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had displayed it universal, Varaha pastime to Murari Gupta. So similarly, once Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj was giving a lecture, and he was glorifying the supreme character of Lord Chaitanya, he instructed them by saying, if somehow or other all the books in the world are destroyed, leaving only Srimad Bhagavatam and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the people of the world will still achieve the ultimate goal of life. Even if Srimad Bhagavatam was lost, leaving only Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is no loss to humanity. For whatever has not been revealed in Bhagavatam is found in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. The absolute truth is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the combined form of Radha and Krishna, and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is the sound incarnation, within which is found the divine mystery of Radharani's divine status and glories. Therefore, there can be any doubt concerning the supreme status of this transcendental literature. Means there is no doubt in the position of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So once again, in one more lecture, he was saying, in due course of time, Mahapralaya will inundate the entire universe. If you attempt to survive by swimming in the deluge, then do not neglect to take hold of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you want to cross over it, hold on to these three books, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Or if you cannot hold all the three, then release Bhagavad Gita. If necessary, you may also relinquish Srimad Bhagavatam, but under no circumstances release your hold of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. For if this one book remains, then the flood can do no actual damage to you. Because after it has subsided, the message of Shastra can be revived from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita alone. It is being the essence of all the Shastras. Because the conclusion of love of Godhead, which every living entity is supposed to possess, is there in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. That is sufficient for us to revive the essence of all Vedic knowledge. So Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj was glorifying Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Similarly, there was one small pastime with Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada used to be always very tricky. He used to convince and confuse devotees to get the work done. So he knew how the mentality of people were and he knew how to deal with them. See, in Vrindavan, Prabhupada was trying to set up the system, but foreign devotees, they are not able to stick on. They become very disturbed and they keep running away from the services. They keep going back to their other places and all. So they were unqualified to deal with goings in India. So he thought some local people should be involved. Then only things will move, because construction, all these things and all, the Westerners, they are not able to identify what is the cost. Sometimes they pay more, the local people will cheat them, so works are not being happening properly. So in that way, Prabhupada thought some local person should be established for the works to happen properly. So that there was one brahmachari gentleman by name Bhagatji, so who used to live around the corner, and devotees brought him to Prabhupada. So he was a retired person early and wanted to involve only in bhajan. He wanted to just stay there and chant there. So he knew entire Bhagavad Gita by heart, and he would take a rickshaw from Ramanreti into the town and he would recite half of the Bhagavad Gita. Then on the way back, he used to recite the other half of Bhagavad Gita. So every day he used to go for darshan. While finishing the darshan, half Bhagavad Gita is finished. While come back, the other half Bhagavad Gita he used to finish. So Prabhupada wanted to get him help into the construction of the temple project. So Prabhupada used to ask him, and he used to find means and ways how to avoid the service. So this was like a chess match going on. So each one was trying to put a strategy, other was trying to break that strategy. But he was very respectful to Prabhupada and he recognized Prabhupada's superior position. So Prabhupada was teaching to him by saying the higher purpose and more important than bhajana is engaging in devotional service. So one day Prabhupada called him and made him sit down in his office. So Prabhupada said to him, "It is the duty of every Indian gentleman to teach the teachings of Lord Krishna. Do you agree?" Bhagatji said, "Yes, Prabhupada." Then Prabhupada said, "It is the duty of every Indian gentleman to set aside some time in his life to propagate these teachings. Do you agree?" Bhagatji said, "Yes, I agree." Prabhupada said, "If there was a need where Western people were eager for Krishna and would come to a person, this gentleman he would help." Bhagatji said, "Yes." So Bhagatji was agreeing to every point what Prabhupada was saying. Then Prabhupada said, "Brahmananda, bring those papers." So Brahmananda bought a document and gave it to Prabhupada. Prabhupada handed it over to Bhagatji, and Bhagatji looked alarmed. Later it was learnt that Prabhupada gave a legal document. From today, you are the trustee of Krishna Balram Temple and you should take care of Krishna Balram Temple construction. And that person was confused because Prabhupada said yes, 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 and finally he has to sign it. He was shocked and he was trying to do his bhajana, but now he was the manager of the temple, he is the trustee in charge of everything. He was looking at the document and Prabhupada went over the points again and again. And Bhagatji started laughing. He realized he has been outplayed in this match and there was a checkmate. And he finally took the pen and signed the document, then surrendered to Prabhupada, and he took care of construction, all these things and all. Prabhupada, see how Prabhupada, Prabhupada knows how to handle devotees, how to get the work done out of us. So simply by surrendering unto him, see, intelligence comes from the higher level, not that we have to develop that intelligence. We become qualified automatically when we engage in this devotion service. So sincerity is the purpose. That's what Prabhupada used to say. If we are sincere, things are automatically facilitated to us. So in that way, Prabhupada was handling with devotees, getting the work done. He was establishing the temples. He was spreading this preaching Krishna conscious movement all over the world. So we should take the inspiration from all these pastimes, and we should also develop that inclination towards that service attitude. Then we become successful in our endeavors. So I'll stop here. Any questions or doubts? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद।
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణవాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700. హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక